Rose Hill Farm is comprised of 114 acres. Some of that is woodland and wetland, ponds, roads, and support spaces. There's about 30 acres planted in fruit trees. Farmhouse that originally dates back to the homestead in the late 1700s. It was expanded to in the early 1800s. That's the first structure that you see when you come along the old carriage drive. Beyond the farmhouse is a series of red barns. Some of those are mechanic shops and support spaces that will house our new farm office and some additional cool storage, we'll say, for wine and cider.
I think when we talk about soil health, we're really setting a foundation. And if we have a very diverse, healthy soil, it sets the stage for healthier trees. Cover cropping allows us to add nutrients, nitrogen, other macro and micronutrients back into the soil, build up biomass. Here we've used many different seeds as cover crops, plants as cover crops. One we've used in the spring is mustard, which acts as a biofumigant. We'll let it grow up and then mow it and then plow that into the ground, and it's been shown to reduce soil-borne pathogens. The difference between eating apple and cider apple is we think of eating apples in terms of sweet and tart, think in terms of tannin and acidity, those two qualities that are transferred into the cider. This is a golden hornet. It's a small crab apple that is a real acid bomb. And this is Redfield. It was released in 1938 from the Geneva Research Station and has a very acidic flavor and red flesh that transfers into red juice.
So this is the low intervention way of extracting juice from the grapes without having to use a machine, be it a destemmer or a crusher. With our fermentations, we're allowing them to all spontaneously occur. We're not selecting any sort of yeast strain or variety, and specifically pitching it into our fermentation to create certain flavor profiles or cleaner fermentations per se, or any of that kind of stuff. I mean, part of what Kitchen Sink was to utilize a lot of the fruit that we had here, and in that, a lot of the fruit that we had been growing here. Granted, we're growing lots more interesting fruit now, but at least when we started 4 years ago, we didn't have a lot of cider fruit available here on the farm. So we used some good quality cider fruit from other orchards that we bought in to get the more tannic, more rich profile, and then used a lot of the more culinary apples we grow here on the farm that are a little bit higher in sugar, and put a big blend of them all together. Roughly 6 to 8 weeks going from juice to bottle.
So this is Kitchen Sink, which is our flagship pet nat cider. The goal with Kitchen Sink, as it's our largest production run every year, is that we would offer it at an approachable price point, that it would be a crowd-pleasing cider. So the idea for this is that we would use what we have here on the farm as much as possible. So Kitchen Sink is a pretty even mix of culinary or dessert apples that we grow here at Rose Hill Farm, some heirloom varieties that we grow, highlighted by some bittersweet apples as well. We always try to harvest our apples for cider at peak ripeness. So we're testing their Brix levels, the sugars day to day, and making sure that we're pulling really high quality fruit off the trees, but once they're like fully ripe. So this is going to be juicy. It has nice tropical flavors, Kitchen Sink. Another interesting example of our kind of zero waste strategy at Rose Hill Farm is our Pomquette Rouge, which is very similar in concept to a piquette, if you're familiar. A piquette is a recycled product typically made by rehydrating grape skins with water. Instead, we're taking the apple water, which is a byproduct of our cryo extract, and we are using that to rehydrate pressed grape skins made to produce this, which is called Luli. This is a 100% grape wine that we produce. And so we take all of this pressed skins and stems from Luli, and then we add second pressed fruit from our Palm Blue, which is a blueberry apple wine, and our Pomme Siri, which is an apple cherry wine. So we take the recycled fruit from those products and we rehydrate them in the salvaged apple water to produce this. It's aged in oak and has like a very kind of light red wine aspect to it. And lastly, this is our Ellis Bitter, which is part of our cider series. So we really like to use the single variety series as a teaching tool and exploration for us to learn more about a specific apple variety. So in this case, with the Ellis Bitter, we explored mixed macerations. So anywhere from 1 hour to 8 days. And we're kind of exploring the depth of flavor by doing these combined mixed macerations of a single apple. Often we will tell folks to try this and then in conjunction with our chiseled Jersey single varietal, try them separately, mix them together, have a little fun with it, see which proportions you are really excited about, and let us know, because it could end up being a blend for a subsequent year.